Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives, seems to be having trouble getting back in touch with his ex-wives. Recently, the TLC patriarch attempted to have a cordial talk with Meri and Janelle Brown, but it didn't work out. According to a preview of an upcoming episode, Kody's attempts at small chat were unsuccessful, as both women responded with a single word. The first season of Sister Wives debuted in 2010. Meri Janelle and Christine Brown were Kody's spouses. He was courting Robyn at the time, and that same year she became a legal member of the family. Between 2021 and 2023, Christine, Janelle, and Meri left Kody after years of living in a polygamous partnership. Are Janelle and Meri just done with Kody forever? To find out, continue reading. Meri is officially done being nice to her ex-boyfriend Kody after a period of spiritual separation. Meri and her best friend Jen Sullivan visited New York City in the previous episode. Throughout the journey, Jen urged the reality star to finally advocate for herself. The two talked about Meri's difficulties in completely overcoming Kody's domineering characteristics. When Jen informed Meri, "It's time for you to end the nice girl era," she didn't mince words. "You are not benefiting from it, only he is." Meri responded favorably to the statement, acknowledging that she frequently steers clear of conflict to avoid coming out as impolite. Jen made sure her pal understood the message well. Meri yelled, "You don't control me," and in typical theatrical flair, "Comb your hair, Kody," as the two even attempted bitch lessons. Kody Brown attempted to re-establish contact with his ex-wives Meri and Janelle via Zoom call in a recent Sister Wives tape that News Weekly exclusively published, but the exchange was quite awkward. Following a friendly "Hey guys, how's it going?" greeting, all Kody got were brief responses. The discussion came to a halt when both women simply replied, "Good." In an effort to start a conversation, Kody inquired as to whether anything noteworthy had transpired since their previous conversation on the sale of the family's Coyote Pass property. The ensuing quiet said more than words could. He inquired about Meri's bed and breakfast, to which she curtly responded, "It's the same," without providing any other information. Janelle also avoided more interaction and kept things quick, stating that everything was good. Clearly uncomfortable, Kody attempted to lighten the situation by making a joke about youngsters, telling him humorous jokes. Janelle, however, wasn't complying. In reference to her grandchildren, she said drearily, "Mine are younger." Meri, on the other hand, sipped her drink quietly, obviously not interested in chit-chat. Following the call, Kody said that he was unable to comprehend the changes that had occurred since he assisted Meri in moving to Utah. In his confession, he stated, "It's gotten weird." Meri, on the other hand, had a different viewpoint. She said that she had established hard boundaries with her ex and had no intention of continuing to act as though nothing had changed. The ice between Kody and his ex-wives isn't going to break anytime soon, as viewers can see. Fans of Sister Wives believed they had witnessed it all after more than 10 years of witnessing their complex emotions unfold on TV: faith, heartbreak, envy, and stubborn independence. However, in one of the most startling scenes of the current season, Kody Brown was rendered utterly stunned by Meri and Janelle Brown's surprisingly cold attitude. What started off as a straightforward, sincere talk descended into a terrifying reminder that time and hurts don't always go away, and that the ladies Kody previously trusted are no longer prepared to comply with his rules. The conversation that revolutionized everything, Kody's attempt to mend bridges following years of tense relationships, was the beginning of it all. After his heartfelt admissions of remorse and loneliness, Kody contacted Meri and Janelle one-on-one before suggesting a get-together to talk about what he referred to as the next phase of the family. Fans were immediately taken aback by this. Both women had, after all, made it clear that they were done with Kody. Meri had finally severed spiritual links after years of emotional neglect, while Janelle had stated that she didn't see a future with him in this lifetime. But curiosity prevailed. Cameras caught the three of them seated at a neutral Flagstaff restaurant in the episode called Frozen Hearts. For the first time in almost 2 years, the three of them were in the same room without Robyn or Christine. A knife might easily cut through the strain. Kody started off with what seemed like a rehearsed speech, clearly apprehensive. He clasped his hands together and said, "I just wanted to say that I've had time to think about everything that's happened between us. I want to at least restore some semblance of family unity, even though I don't expect us to return to our previous state. For us, the children and the grandchildren." The table was silent for a while. Then Meri stated bluntly, "You're a little late for that, Kody," leaning back and folding her arms. The coolness in Meri's tone, Kody didn't want to hear that. nor did he anticipate it. Meri had been the one who held on to hope for years, the one who talked about faith and unwavering dedication, even while Kody emotionally distanced himself. However, that Meri was no longer there. She went on, her voice firm yet piercing. I tried for years to keep this family together. Years of pleading with you to take heed, to defend me, to speak with me. And you noticed when I eventually stopped asking. Kody, that isn't love. That is culpability. Kody's jaw tightened as he appeared surprised. That's unfair, he said. I was attempting to keep everyone's sentiments safe. I couldn't be in all places at once. After silently watching, Janelle eventually said something. Kody, you weren't defending anyone. You were defending your pride. Janelle's calm disobedience. Kody froze when Janelle's words hit him. The air leaving his lungs was almost audible to the audience. Normally the calm, pragmatic voice of reason, Janelle had drawn a line in the sand. She went on, I tried to talk to you about how I felt for years. However, you always turned it into a statement about your authority or respect. Even if you didn't respect me in return, Kody, I still respected you. Now, though, I'm done attempting to understand it. Without you, I am at peace. Her voice sounded cool, collected, and decisive rather than irate. It hurt considerably more because of that. Kody leaned forward, obviously having trouble keeping his composure. What are you saying, then? That we're not even able to be friends? Meri laughed a little loud humor. Friends don't ignore one another for years before reaching out when they're feeling lonely. Every syllable seemed to reverberate throughout that particular moment. Kody's expression dimmed. His power as the patriarch and the confidence he frequently exuded seemed to disintegrate in front of the cameras. Outsider to patriarch, this was poetic justice to ardent fans. Kody had long taken pride in being the head of his multiple families and the glue that kept them all together. He was no longer the focal point, though, as Meri and Janelle faced him side by side. The outsider was him, and the most agonizing aspect. He had formerly emotionally alienated the two women, but now they were stronger together. I believe that we're both simply in a different place, Janelle remarked, turning to face Meri. We've come to the realization that anger is no longer necessary. You don't even have to give us closure. All we desire is peace. You're free to live your life. We'll get ours. Meri gave a nod. Exactly. This doesn't need to be fixed. You simply must realize that it is over. Kody's expression conveyed amazement, bewilderment, and an underlying sadness that was difficult to articulate. Suddenly, a man who was accustomed to having the final say had none. The invisible shadow of Robyn, even though Robyn wasn't there in person, her influence pervaded the entire discussion. Meri and Janelle both alluded to the obvious. Kody had long focused his emotional energies on his younger wife. Meri mutely remarked, every time we tried to talk to you, it became about protecting Robyn's feelings. You neglected to mention your other spouses, who also needed to be heard. Kody made an effort to protect himself. That is untrue. I was trying my hardest to keep everything in balance. However, Janelle interrupted abruptly. Equilibrium? You no longer even made an effort to conceal your partiality. You created a complete emotional barrier separating Robyn's family from us. What about loyalty to the rest of us? You once informed me that loyalty meant sustaining your relationship with her. There was an agonizing quiet. Kody's shoulders slumped as he gazed at the table. Later, fans analyzed every moment of the conversation on social media. One viewer commented, you could see the defeat in his face. Kody finally realized he was no longer in charge. The fallout, admittances, and remorse. Kody found it difficult to comprehend what had transpired during his alone confessional following the meeting. His voice cracked slightly as he confessed. I didn't expect that kind of reaction. I believe that there could still be an opportunity to reconstruct something. However, it seems as though they have removed me from their lives after hearing them speak in such a manner. He stopped and stared straight into the camera. It is painful. I am aware of my errors. However, it seems as though they had moved on without even turning around. The confessionals of Meri and Janelle, however, painted a very different picture. Meri thought back on the meeting with a gentle smile. She remarked, it felt like closure. I gave it to myself, not because Kody gave it to me. Janelle concurred. He's probably still waiting for us to return or for us to miss him. However, those women are no longer us. He doesn't have to define our happiness for us. The supporters praised the women's strength. The overwhelming response from fans was in support of Meri and Janelle. For a long time, viewers have supported the women's return to freedom and self-worth. Calms down. One admirer wrote on X, previously Twitter, pure chills. Kody is seated across from Meri and Janelle, who look like two queens who have finally come to terms with their power. Kody suppressed their feelings for years, a different fan remarked. It was chef's kiss justice to watch him sit there silently. According to reports, even former cast members responded with subdued pride. The night the show aired, Robyn Brown, who is now blissfully married to David Woolley, posted a mysterious Instagram story with the caption, "Peace feels better than proving your point." Fans made the connection to the episode right away. What happens to Kody next? Kody looks thoughtful yet apprehensive in the promo for the upcoming episode. He says, "I thought we were coming together. However, this might be the last time. Perhaps I am the antagonist in their tale." This is a rare display of vulnerability from a man who used to take great satisfaction in his ability to manipulate others. It remains to be seen, though, if it results in transformation or simply greater resentment. TLC executives alluded to the possibility that this emotional exchange would completely change Sister Wives' course. The upcoming chapters might concentrate more on reflection than growth, because Robyn is still dealing with the emotional strain of being the last wife standing, and Kody is coming to terms with the fact that he no longer has a family to support. The new sisterhood era, the strength of the women who at last found their voices, is maybe the most poignant aspect of this developing story, rather than Kody's quiet. Meri has started a new chapter in her life, dividing her time between Arizona and Utah, and concentrating on her motivational retreats and bed and breakfast. She recently stated in an Instagram Live that, "I've learned that love isn't supposed to hurt. You're free to leave when it happens." Ever the pragmatic, Janelle keeps concentrating on her path to wellness and freedom. On her own terms, she has been candid about rediscovering her faith. She said to her admirers,